Hi, my name's Dave Hudspeth. I'm going to teach you 25 tricks with a thumb tip. Now, as you know, what in the world? Excuse me. Oh, look, it's a little magic handkerchief. A lot of you are probably wondering why you didn't see that handkerchief or where it came from. These are all good questions, but what you may want to ask yourself is, where does that handkerchief go? Well, don't worry, I'll tell you. It went down here inside this handkerchief. Yes, right here in the center of the handkerchief, believe it or not. There it is, the little red handkerchief. Now look, I'm going to take that and push it back down into the middle of this handkerchief, right there. Watch it close. All I have to do is squeeze. It passes right through this handkerchief and has now landed in my hand below. Well, I tell you what, let's spice things up a little bit. I'll take a little bit of salt and pour that into the hand just like this. Now all I have to do is rub the back of the knuckles like that. That warms it up and makes that salt disappear. Of course, if you want that salt to come back, you simply reach out, snap your fingers, and that salt comes right back. Now that's all 1,486 grains. You're welcome to count them if you like. This next trick is hard to match, even though it uses a match. I simply take a match, light it, and I place that lit match into my hand. It doesn't burn at all because that match disappears. Well, last but not least, I'd like to thank you for allowing me to borrow this dollar bill. And what I'm going to do is give you a corner of the bill as a receipt. Now you hang on to that, and what I'll do is take your dollar bill and fold it up nice and small. And I'm going to place your dollar bill into my hand, and believe it or not, change it into a $100 bill. By giving it a squeeze, it's now excuse me, it's now disappeared. That's all right. Take the corner of the bill that I gave you to the bank, go up to the teller, explain to them what happened, ask them for another dollar bill, and the teller, of course, will look at you and say, next. No, that's not very good. I don't want you to go away mad, so I tell you what. In my pocket, I happen to have another dollar bill I'll give to you to replace the one that disappeared. It's folded up just like yours, and as a matter of fact, it's missing a corner. Why, what do you know? It is your dollar bill. The explanation for these tricks is simple. It uses the thumb tip. Now, a thumb tip is a fake thumb that fits on your thumb. It's hollowed out in the middle. You don't have to worry about the color matching exactly or anything like that, but it fits right on the tip of your thumb. Now, it's important that when you have the thumb tip on that you don't hold your hand in this position, because then something's obviously wrong with your thumb. However, you can point the thumb tip directly at the audience with your hand like this. Your hand will look empty, and nobody will know that you have a thumb tip on your hand, okay? Now, the first trick that I did is where I made a handkerchief appear out of the thumb tip. And the way I did this was by having a handkerchief inside the thumb tip to begin with. This goes on your thumb, and then you can flash your hand empty in this position. Remember, the thumb tip is here. Simply reach out, bend your thumb in, curl your fingers around the thumb tip, and now as you go to remove the thumb, simply drag it along the inside of the thumb tip, and that forces out the silk, and then just continue pulling that out. Now, take it out with the other hand, and what you're going to do is reinsert the thumb into the thumb tip and hide it behind this silk. So you simply do that, come behind the silk, and now you've got this thumb tip hidden behind the silk. To vanish the silk, I simply transferred the thumb tip from one hand to the other, and I did that by simply bringing the hands together, loading the thumb tip, and raising up with this silk. So, real quick, at speed, you're like that. Now the thumb tip is in this hand, waiting for the silk, and the silk is over here. Now, to make it disappear, you poke it into the thumb tip with your index finger and middle finger. So poke it in, poke it in, poke it in. It's important when you do this that you keep the thumb of this hand under these fingers, because if it was out here, what you're going to end up doing is stealing it back onto the thumb. And if it's all the way out here, it's going to look kind of funny to come in. So simply poke it in, keep this under the hand, and at the opportune time, you simply stick the thumb into the thumb tip. Now, at this point, you can take this hand away, but what I prefer to do is actually rotate this hand away from my body. I'm flashing the hand as empty. I simply tap underneath, give it a blow, snap the fingers. This handkerchief has disappeared. Now, by brushing your hands together, no one will see the thumb tip, and they'll wonder where the handkerchief went. The next trick I did is where I made it reappear out of a handkerchief. Now, this is quite simple. I simply drape the handkerchief over my fist. Remember, the thumb tip is here, and load that thumb tip in and leave it behind, but it's hid by these fingers. So I simply come down, leave it in, and I pull out the silk from the thumb tip. Now, it's reappeared from another silk, and it's quite amazing. Now, to make it pass through that, all you do is simply tuck it in. Remember to keep your thumb hid underneath. Tuck it down in, steal it out, flash the hand empty, come back to a corner of the handkerchief, give this a squeeze, and then show that it's passed through. What you're really going to do now, and I'll remove this, is you're just going to come forward and load the thumb tip into your hand. But you do that under cover of the handkerchief, and then show that it's passed through. Now, to vanish the salt, which is a really neat trick, all you do is you have the thumb tip hid in your hand to begin with, which we already do. Have the cap removed from a salt shaker and dump some salt into the hand. Now, it's important to keep the salt shaker some distance away from your hand so that they actually see the salt going in to the thumb tip. At this point, what you're going to do is steal it out. Now, this time, instead of stealing that out from the top or rotating the hand away, I'm using a different method. I'm going to move the thumb forward and steal the thumb tip from behind my thumb. So by simply rolling over, I place my thumb into the thumb tip. Now, this is taking place behind the thumb, not through the opening, okay? At this point, I can pull straight back like this, tap underneath, snap the fingers, show that it's disappeared. And, of course, to bring it back, it's just like the silk. You simply show the hand empty, reach out, bend the thumb in, wrap the fingers around it, remove your thumb from the thumb tip, and then dump out all the salt. Now, when the salt is completely dumped out, you're going to take your thumb and reinsert it into the thumb tip. And then come down and hide the thumb tip under these fingers as you brush the salt away. The next thing we did, which is a real nice trick, uses a match. Now listen, if you're under 18, do not attempt this without adult supervision. All you do is you simply pick up a book of matches and you hide the thumb tip. Now look, I'm pointing the thumb tip directly at the audience, but they won't see it here. All I'm going to do now is take the matches and the thumb tip and put it all into my other hand and load the thumb tip here as I open the book of matches. So it's a simple matter of just bringing the hands together, load the thumb tip, open up the book of matches, and now remove a single match. Now you're going to light this match, put the book down, and insert this match into the thumb tip and steal it out. But when you put the thumb into the thumb tip, it cuts off the oxygen, the match goes out, so you don't have to worry about getting burnt. But once again, if you're under 18, don't try it without adult supervision. So here we go. We light the match, put the book of matches down. That's important. Just simply place it into the tip, and then just rotate the hand away, give it a tap if you like, and show that it's disappeared. For the dollar bill trick, the last one that I did in that little segment, simply borrow a dollar bill, and I removed a corner of it that I gave to the spectators to hold as a receipt. Now, you've got to fold this dollar bill up small enough so it'll fit into the thumb tip, and there's a certain way to do this. You need to fold it left to right, bottom to top, left to right, bottom to top. And there's a reason for this, and I'll show you. Look, we fold it left to right. Now I go bottom to top. Now it's on this second left to right fold. Remember, the thumb tip is here, that I'm going to transfer the thumb tip from my thumb over to my hand so that I can vanish it later. And it happens on this left to right fold. So we go left to right. I simply extend the thumb over, grab hold of it, leave it in the thumb now, and now I fold it one more time. So now it's folded and it's ready for the dollar bill to go inside. Do it just like the match. Just simply place that in, rotate the hand away, give it a tap if you like, make it disappear, build the effect up, and then finally just reach into your pocket, leave the tip behind, and come out with the dollar bill. So you just go into your pocket, leave the tip behind, come out with the dollar bill, and then you've done a little bit of magic with their money, and it's something that they'll remember, and I hope you have a lot of fun with it. Now watch closely as we take this piece of rope. I find the center of the rope and then take some scissors and we cut it in half. That's not the magic part. The magic part is trying to put it back together, and I do that by simply putting the ends back down inside. See, now the rope's back together. Oh, you don't believe me. Look, I wave my fingers over the top, snap, and now, believe it or not, that rope really is back together. To do the rope trick, you don't really cut this piece of rope. What you do is you have another piece of rope hidden inside the thumb tip, and I tuck the ends of that rope down inside the thumb tip to begin with, just like this. That leaves the middle of the rope sticking out of the thumb tip. That way when I pull my thumb out, I get the middle. You don't want to come out with an end or you've got a whole different trick. So anyway, put that on your thumb and have it there. Hide it, show the rope, And now all you do is simply lay the thumb tip here and pull out the rope from the thumb tip. That's what you're going to cut. Now they think you're cutting the rope, but you're cutting the rope from the thumb tip. Simply cut the rope, tuck the ends back down inside, wave your hand over the top, and now just put your thumb into the thumb tip and then show that the rope is now back together. Now here's a neat way for you to vanish a handkerchief. Simply take and have the thumb tip, of course, and put it into the thumb tip like we were doing before. But now what you do is you steal it out and you explain that nothing goes up your sleeve. Well, when you do that, remember the thumb tip is here. You simply come up, leave it under your armpit, come back down, snap the fingers, and show that it's gone. Now nobody will know where it went because they can't see anything. It's actually over here. If you want to bring that silk back, which is a good idea because you don't want to walk around like this all day, okay, what you do is simply drop your hand to your side, raise your arm, and that thumb tip will fall back into your hand and you can reproduce it. To cover this, because they would see it this way, you turn your body away. Now I'm going to do it head on so that you can see it happen. Just raise your arm, it falls back in your hand, and you cover this, like I say, by reaching into the air and pulling out magic dust particles or whatever, and then show that the silk has reappeared. Now, another way to vanish it, again, is to put it down inside here, just like this, steal it out, continue poking, okay, and what you're going to do, and I'm going to move my hand away so that you can see this. Remember, we've taken it out of here, I've got it on the thumb tip, but look where the thumb tip's going. It's not just on my thumb, I've actually put it here. It's going inside my vest. Now, with this closed hand, I'll press against that. That'll leave it inside there, and I come away from my body and poke a little bit more and then show that it's disappeared again. These are real good methods. I hope you give them a try. Sugar packets are a manufacturing marvel. Now, prior to sugar packets, sugar used to be shipped loose in bulk, which was fine for large quantities, but not so good for small, till someone came up with the idea of compressing the sugar and shipping it as sugar cubes. If you've ever been locked out of your house, you'll like this next trick. Just simply take a dime, place that into the hand, give it a squeeze, and for less than the cost of a phone call, you've got a house key. They say if you take a couple of sticks and rub them together, you can actually start a fire. Let's see. Oh, need a light? Here's something kind of sweet. Take a couple of cocoa beans, put those into your hand, a little bit of foil, and we'll just sweeten it up, like I say, with some sugar. Now all I have to do is rub the back of the hand to warm it up, and believe it or not, you get yourself a piece of chocolate candy. Take one dime, put it into the hand, another dime, put it into the hand. That's a third dime. Here's number 4, and the 5th dime right into the hand. Now 5 dimes equals half a dollar, or is it the other way around? Now the explanation for all these tricks is easy. Of course, you're going to use the thumb tip, and what you're going to do is change some loose items into another item. Now I'm going to demonstrate this with the dimes to a half dollar. It's the same for the dime to the key and the matchsticks to the lighter and all the tricks that I just showed you. You just simply have the item hid in your hand along with the thumb tip. In this case, I have the half dollar and the thumb tip in my hand. Now, when you place the loose items in this case, the dimes, and remember this applies to all 5 tricks that I just showed you, just simply place all the loose items in, actually putting them into the thumb tip. When you put the last item in, be it the salt, the sugar, whatever you're using, just steal it all out, give it a squeeze, and then show that those loose items have changed to another item. I hope you give these a try. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to borrow this dollar bill. What I'm going to do is fold it up nice and small, and then we'll take and do some magic, but not in the normal way. I'm going to do this actually with one hand behind my back. So watch closely. We simply take the dollar, put it into the hand. Remember, this hand goes behind the back. Now, a lot of people, as you know, go through money, but look, in my case, money it goes through me. To do this trick, you're going to start clean and end clean. And what you do is you have the thumb tip here in your back pocket, okay? So you don't have it on your thumb to begin with. Now, that's right back here in this back pocket. Now you borrow a dollar bill, have it signed if you like, and then fold it up the way I showed you earlier. Remember, left to right, bottom to top, left to right, bottom to top. That way it fits inside the thumb tip. Now, as you explain that you're going to do this trick with one hand behind your back, simply take this hand behind your back, insert it into your pocket, and steal out the thumb tip. Soon as you come out, though, you're going to transfer the thumb tip to this hand and the bill to the other hand. So you're here, you show the hand, you can bring them together, and now you have the bill over here, and of course you have the thumb tip here ready to vanish the dollar bill. You do this just the way you did the match trick earlier. Just simply push it in, rotate the hand away. You can flash this as being empty as you want, if you want. Say, remember, this hand goes behind my back, and as you come back, you just simply reinsert the tip into your pocket and come out with the bill. Now, they think the dollar bill is out here in front. You can say a lot of people go through money, but in my case, money goes through me. And then show that it's gone from here. Bring your hand out from behind your back. Show the dollar bill is here, and you've made it go from one place to the other and started clean and ended clean. Now, here's an interesting variation of starting clean and ending clean. Now, what you do is take a couple of squeeze coin purses, and I have those here. Inside one of these purses, take your thumb tip and place it inside. Now, put this in your pocket along with a second purse that's completely empty. They both go in the same pocket. Now, you're starting clean, remember, so just borrow a dollar bill, have it signed if you like. Then fold that dollar bill up left to right, bottom to top, left to right, bottom to top, so it's nice and small. And then bring out the empty coin purse, not the one with the thumb tip in it. Show it as being empty, show it to the spectators. Have them place their hand on top of it. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to tell them, and this is a joke that sets you up for the trick. You say, look, I'm going to take this dollar bill, put it into the coin purse, you're not going to feel a thing. Remember, they have their hand on top of it, so they'll think, how are you going to do that? It's a joke, remember, because what you do is you reach into your pocket and pull out another coin purse. Well, they get the joke and they start to laugh and everything. But unbeknownst to them, remember, you've got a thumb tip inside here. So as you place this dollar bill into the purse, you're really going to place it into the tip and steal it right back out. Well, they're laughing and everything from the little bit of a joke that you made there. Now you say, let's do some real magic. Snap your fingers. Now come with the empty hand. Take the purse. Show that it is empty. The dollar bill's gone from this purse. They saw you put it in there just a minute ago. Have them lift their hand from that purse, pick it up, and now as you go to reach inside, what you're really going to do is load the thumb tip in and come out with the dollar bill. Put this back into your pocket with the thumb tip. You're reset to do this again if you like. And then show that the dollar bill that's theirs, that has been signed if you like, has traveled from one purse to the other while they had their hand on top of it. A lot of people take a cigarette, hold it in their hand this way, slowly make it disappear. However, if you take a cigarette and put it into your hand this way, give it a squeeze, you can make it disappear a lot quicker. Have the thumb tip on your thumb and hold the cigarette like you normally would hold a cigarette. Now, what you're going to do is load it into the other hand by just simply bringing the hands together for a second. So you simply come over, just like we did with the silk earlier, load the thumb tip into the hand, come away with the cigarette and show it, and now place it into the hand. Now, I'm using a king-size thumb tip so I can vanish a full cigarette. By simply pressing down, it collapses inside the thumb, and I steal it out and make it disappear. If your thumb tip won't hold a full cigarette, what you can do is still do the trick by breaking it in half, giving them half as a receipt, and then vanishing the smaller half, okay? So, like I said, I've got a king-size thumb tip. It goes there. I simply press down on it. It collapses into the tip. I rotate this hand away, give it a tap, and then show that it's disappeared. This next trick is extremely painful. Not for you, but for me. I simply take the cigarette, place it into the hand, and squeeze it. It only hurts for a second because then it completely disappears. Now, this trick uses a lit cigarette, so if you're under 18, don't try this without adult supervision. What you do is you have the thumb tip hidden in your hand, and you take the lit cigarette just the way we did with the match earlier, but it's much more impressive with someone's cigarette. Just simply place that in, and by pressing hard, remember to place it lit end first, okay, into the tip. By pressing hard, it extinguishes itself against the end of the tip. You simply rotate the hand away, give it a tap, and then show that it's disappeared. Some more cigarette tricks that you can do are very impressive, especially with a lit cigarette. Once again, if you're under 18, not without adult supervision. Don't even think about it. Look, you have your thumb tip and you borrow someone's handkerchief. This is really impressive if you borrow an item from someone. Now, by draping that over your hand and having the thumb tip on your thumb to begin with, what you're going to do is load it into the handkerchief as you push down to form a well. Now remember, these fingers are going to cover the thumb tip. So simply push down and you formed a well and loaded the thumb tip inside. Now take someone's lit cigarette and place it down into their handkerchief. Well, they're going to freak out because they see this smoke coming up and they think that their handkerchief is going to get burnt. Build the effect up a little bit and then simply just press in hard. That extinguishes it. Steal the tip out and then show that not only has the cigarette vanished, but nothing has happened to their personal belongings. Another great way to do this trick is not with a man's handkerchief, but go up and grab his tie and grab a hold of that and load the thumb tip inside and take your cigarette and drop it down in there and let it smoke while you talk to the guy. Well, he's going to be freaking out, you know. And then you simply steal it out, brush the tie away, and show that nothing's happened to the tie. But an even better way to do this that a lot of people like to do, the more expensive the item, the more they worry about it. So if you take a man's jacket from him, ask if you could borrow it, and drape that over the hand and load the thumb tip inside and take a lit cigarette and drop it down inside there, and then talk a little bit and say, hey, you know, is this a smoking jacket? And they say, no, well, it soon will be. Well, as a matter of fact, I think it's a blazer, you know, all the old jokes. Same handling, different trick, though. Steal it away, open it up, and show that nothing's happened to their jacket, their tie, their handkerchief. These are real good tricks. A lot of people think that a dollar bill is made of nothing but paper, but actually it's more like a fabric. You see, there's silk fibers that go throughout the dollar bill. If I grab a hold of it just right, I should be able to get some of that silk out of there. Let's see. Oh, there's a little bit of it. Now look, I hope you can see that okay. I've got a little more. If I take that all the way out, it's going to ruin your dollar bill, and neither you nor I would want that to happen. So I'll just push it back down inside there, and of course I have to weld the fibers back together, so I do that by waving the hand over the top of it. And as you can see, your dollar bill has gone back together just the way you gave it to me. To do this trick, you have a thumb tip and you have a green silk. I like to use a green silk, obviously, because a dollar bill is green, okay? You take the silk and you tuck it down inside the thumb tip, and this, of course, is on your thumb. Now, you can borrow a dollar bill or take one out of your pocket, flash your hand empty, however you want to handle it. But what you're going to do is hide the thumb tip behind the dollar bill by turning the dollar bill from one side to the other lengthwise like this. Now that thumb tip stays hid behind the dollar bill, so you don't have to worry about anybody seeing it. When you're ready to do the trick, simply wrap it around the thumb tip like so, and leave the thumb tip inside the bill over here. Snap your fingers, talk, and then come over and pull out just a little bit of the handkerchief from the bill. Some people take it all the way out. I prefer not to. Just simply pull it out, show it a little bit, and then tuck it back in using the index and middle finger. And don't worry about stealing it onto your thumb. Just simply tuck it down back in there, wave your hand over the top, and now as you go to unroll the bill, simply insert your thumb back into the tip and hide it behind the bill again. So you're here, you open up the bill. You don't happen to have change for $1, do you? Well, that's okay, because I'm a magician. So if I want change for $1, all I have to do is snap my fingers and I get change for $1. To do this trick, what you need is a thumb tip, a dollar bill, and 10 dimes. Now, I'm using a king-size thumb tip here, so I can easily fit 10 dimes into the thumb tip. These go into the thumb tip, these go onto my thumb. I hide the thumb tip behind the dollar bill, and just like I did with the silk trick, I hide it behind the bill as I turn it from one side to the other. Simple matter now of just wrapping the dollar bill around the thumb tip, leave the tip inside the bill along with the dime, snap your fingers, and out come the 10 dimes. Then put your thumb back in, unroll the bill, show it both sides if you like, and that's a good trick. Hampton Ridge Magic Creations would like to thank you for purchasing this video on thumb tip magic. Now, Hampton Ridge offers a complete line of magic videos. Contact your local dealer for more information.